From time to time, friends ask, "Hey, Critical, is that Smith & Wesson Shield really as good as people make it out to be?" No. No, that's not what they ask. What they ask is, "Hey, Steve, is that Smith & Wesson Shield really as good as people make it out to be?" Hi, this is Steve, Critical Dreamer Channel. Thanks for being here. Usually when that question's asked, my answer is, well, there are some very competent YouTubers in the firearms community that have done some really good work explaining in detail all about this firearm. I recommend you go check out those videos and you'll learn everything you want to know. And then some time goes by, and then those same people ask the question again, and then other people ask. In addition to asking, do you think this would be a good first firearm for a new shooter? Well, with that question, I don't know. Nobody knows. It all depends on what you like, depends on what you're interested in, what you're comfortable with, what you've tried. So there really is no correct answer. However, is this what it's made out to be, the big deal that people have made it out to be in the past few years? I'll answer that simply in this video. The way I see it, in addition to some really well thought out design characteristics, I think it covers a lot of bases, and it certainly should be something that is considered as a viable first choice, or at least given a place on the list. So let's check it out quickly and go through just some of the quick specifics and points. It is a striker-fired pistol. It's a polymer frame. This one has the Talon grips on it. It is a bit slick coming out of the box, that polymer on there, so the Talon grips do give it a little help there with the purchase on it, which is not a bad thing. It's a stainless steel 3.1-inch barrel. It's a stainless steel slide. The slide finish is Armornite. That's ARMORNITE. Comes out of the box with the 3-dot sights. They're magnetic, so guess what? They're not plastic, unlike some other firearms that come through. Now, what you're looking at here, this, out of the box, if you're going to buy it from an FFL in a place like Massachusetts, you'll receive it with somewhere around a 10-pound trigger. Whether or not you think that's good or bad is up to you. Considerations: is it going to be something you carry and you don't mind a heavier trigger? Do you like to practice with a heavier trigger? Either way, it's all about trigger discipline, trigger control. To me, it shouldn't matter how heavy the trigger is or how light it is. It all comes down to trigger control. But again, in certain states, that's what you can end up getting out of the box, and whether or not you want to modify it after the fact is completely up to you. This is not ambidextrous, so make note of that. There's the magazine release on the left-hand side. Magazine's out of the box. Comes with a 7-round and an 8-round, and it's sort of in like a stone-washed metallic stainless steel. Pretty nice looking. Now, it is available in 2 different models. Again, this is the 9mm. Comes with the thumb safety and without the thumb safety. The one without the thumb safety is the NTS model, which, what do you think? No thumb safety, NTS. Speaking of safety, a little bit of a trigger safety here. There's that little nodule sticking out there. So that's, upon pressing the trigger, if it's depressed up there, it hits the back of that and keeps the trigger from depressing all the way. So the trigger needs to be pushed from that little claw, I guess you would call it. Also, the thumb safety. There's a snap cap in there. This is capable of chambering around with the thumb safety on. Okay. The other safety feature, right here, loaded chamber indicator. It's up to you whether or not you want to rely on that or just use safe gun handling techniques. One other thing here, let's not forget about this. Caution, capable of firing with magazine removed. Okay, doesn't want to focus. Just one other little note. All in all, it's great size, feels great. The thickness of that grip, 0.95, is really convenient for being able to carry. It's 19 ounces unloaded. In addition to what I just said, that thinness of the grip really helps in being able to conceal. It's not a big, bulky thing to carry around. Now, let's talk about takedown. Here's a question for you. Is there a difference between a slide stop and a slide release? Something to think about. I don't hear many people talk about that, but it's interesting because on these shields, you might find that trying to release that slide using this, it's a really tough mechanism that you really got to crank down on that. Interestingly enough, if you go into the owner's manual, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that nowhere in that manual is it referred to as a slide release. It's always called a slide stop. And I think that's certainly interesting way to put it. And I've noticed that if you have, it might be something that sparks in your brain. Say, oh yeah, sometimes it's a slide stop, sometimes it's a slide release. And that's most likely why. I'm not so sure that that was intended to release the slide all the time, but it does the job of holding the slide back, and that's, I guess, what it's meant to do best. Again, as far as concealed carry, this has been terrific in the roles of inside the waistband or appendix and even ankle carry. It's been very comfortable ankle carry. It's not too heavy. It's not too bulky. Conceals well. I think especially, again, I'll say it one more time, that 0.95 inches thickness makes it very easy to conceal. Reliability. So now I'm going to answer the question that I get asked. Reliability. Is this thing what it's made out to be? And here's the answer. Over 2,000 rounds. Well, the date is when it was bought. It's not when it was shot. Over 2,000 rounds through this. Not one failure, not one malfunction. It's been flawless. Now, I'm a stickler for a clean firearm. Clean it after every range visit. I'm not suggesting that it needs to be cleaned after having shot only a box of 50 rounds or something. We all know that that doesn't need to happen. But I've continued to follow the procedures that I've set that work best for me, and so far it's led to flawless results, so I'm not about to change it at this point. I know it won't be flawless forever, we all know that, but so far it's been 100% reliable. And as far as if you're going to carry something like this, reliable, reliable, reliable. That's my answer. Yes, it is as good as everyone's made it out to be. That's my answer. I hope this has been helpful. This is Steve, Critical Dreamer Channel. Thanks for being here. Be present, be mindful, and remember, it's all about the harmony.